her end was violent. In the fiery chaos of the Battle of the Santa Cruz Islands, the legendary aircraft carrier USS Hornet found herself caught in a maelstrom of enemy fire. For 10 agonizing minutes, she endured a relentless, coordinated assault from the air. It was a deluge of destruction, an attack so ferocious it would seal her fate and etch her name into the annals of naval history. Pummeled by bombs and torpedoes, the pride of the U.S. Navy was left a burning, crippled wreck. Fires raged across her decks, and a deathly list signaled mortal wounds from which she could not recover. The order was given to abandon ship, a heartbreaking decision for a crew that had fought so valiantly to save her. When she finally slipped beneath the waves in the dark waters of the South Pacific in October 1942, the world assumed she was a twisted, unrecognizable ruin. After American forces failed to scuttle her, Japanese destroyers finished the job, firing their own torpedoes into her scarred hull. The historical record was clear. Hornet was not just sunk, she was obliterated. For over 76 years, that was the end of her story. She became a ghost of the Pacific, a hallowed name whispered by veterans and recorded in history books as a casualty of war, lost forever to the sea. Her final resting place was a mystery, her condition presumed to be nothing more than a scattered field of debris. The ocean held her memory, guarding the site of her violent demise under 3 miles of crushing, silent water. Year after year, decade after decade, she lay in absolute darkness, a forgotten tomb in a world that had moved on. But the deep ocean was hiding an impossible secret. In the cold, oxygen-starved abyss, where time itself seems to stand still, the narrative of her destruction was about to be rewritten. Far from being a mangled wreck, the Hornet was waiting, intact and upright, a silent monument preserved in the deep. The truth of her condition defied all expectations, a secret kept by the sea, waiting for the moment it would finally be revealed to a stunned and disbelieving world. Now, more than 75 years after her loss, a new generation of explorers aboard the research vessel Prologue has taken up the monumental task of finding her final resting place. This state-of-the-art ship, a legacy of philanthropist Paul Allen, is a beacon of modern discovery, equipped with the most advanced deep ocean exploration technology on the planet. Its mission: to locate and document historic shipwrecks, transforming maritime mysteries into tangible history. The search for the Hornet was a formidable challenge. The team began by meticulously cross-referencing historical data, declassified naval records, action reports from other ships in the task force, and even logs from the Japanese fleet. They plotted a probable search grid, a vast expanse of the South Pacific seabed, nearly a mile square. Inside the Petrel's nerve center, a team of dedicated researchers and technicians worked around the clock. Using cutting-edge autonomous underwater vehicles, or AUVs, they began to systematically map the ocean floor, 3 miles below the surface. Each mission was a patient, methodical sweep, painting a picture of the unseen landscape, hoping to find any trace of the lost carrier, a ghost from a world at war. The hunt is a delicate dance between man and machine. On the windswept deck, the crew prepares their sophisticated equipment for another descent into the crushing pressure of the deep. Every cable secured, every system checked is a crucial step in the quest. Once a promising target is identified by the AUV, the next phase begins. The team deploys its remotely operated vehicle, a powerful submersible tethered to the petrel by a fiber optic cable. This ROV is their eyes and hands in the abyss, capable of sending back high-definition video in real time. As the ROV begins its long journey down, the atmosphere in the control room shifts. The pilot, with practiced hands on the controls, navigates the submersible through the inky blackness. The vehicle's powerful lights cut through the dark, illuminating a world of marine snow and unseen life. For hours, the team watches, their focus absolute, waiting for the seabed to emerge from the gloom, hoping this descent will be the one that finally ends the search. And then this, a sonar image so clear, so perfectly defined, it sent a shockwave through the control room. The sonar display resolves into a carrier silhouette. The shape was not a field of debris, it was a ship, whole and intact. The ROV glides along the hull. Markings emerge. The hunt was over, but a new, profound mystery was just beginning. Mid-distance framing reveals the intact carrier, majestic and silent. The ROV hovers over the flight deck under cold light. Descending 3 miles into the crushing dark, the ROV's powerful lights cut through the abyssal gloom. For 77 years, this realm had been the exclusive domain of darkness and immense pressure. Now, for the first time, human eyes were about to witness what the deep had so perfectly concealed. As the vehicle neared the seabed, the team held their breath. The sonar had promised something extraordinary, but reality was about to exceed all expectations. The cameras revealed the impossible. There she was. The USS Hornet, a ship that endured a fiery, violent end, was resting in a state of near-perfect preservation. She wasn't a scattered debris field or a twisted wreck. She was whole, sitting upright on the ocean floor as if she had just settled there. The sheer improbability of the sight was staggering. A vessel subjected to such a brutal demise, hit by multiple bombs and torpedoes before being scuttled, should have been a ruin. Instead, she looked like a ghost ship, waiting for a crew that would never return. The secret to this incredible preservation lies in the environment itself. At a depth of nearly 17,500 feet, the water is just above freezing, and the lack of sunlight and oxygen has dramatically slowed the process of decay. The icy, oxygen-deprived water had created a perfect tomb, a stable, sterile environment that arrested the corrosion that would have devoured her in shallower seas. It was a ghost ship, a time capsule from 1942, looking as if she could sail again at any moment. The discovery left the scientific team baffled and utterly speechless. On board the Petrel, the control room was silent, the only sound the gentle hum of equipment. The crew, seasoned explorers accustomed to finding wreckage, stared at their monitors in disbelief. They were looking at a museum exhibit at the bottom of the world, a moment of history frozen in time. As the ROV began its survey, the details that emerged were astonishing. On the island superstructure, the hull number 8 was still visible beneath a fine layer of marine sediment. This was not just any carrier, this was definitively the Hornet, the 8th aircraft carrier to serve the United States Navy. The sight of that number confirmed her identity beyond any doubt, connecting this silent shape in the deep directly to the pages of history. The ROV then moved to the deck, its lights illuminating the ship's defensive armaments. It approached a 5-inch anti-aircraft gun mount, one of the many that had fought so furiously in the ship's final battle. The gun is pristine, elevated, and appears ready to fire. Its barrel is still aimed towards the sky, a silent testament to the crew's final, desperate moments, fighting off the aerial onslaught that ultimately sealed their ship's fate. The image is both magnificent and haunting, a weapon of war now a permanent, silent monument. An overhead pass reveals the vast expanse of the flight deck. Though empty of the aircraft that once launched from its surface, it is littered with perfectly preserved fittings and equipment, all coated in a gentle dusting of silt. It's a scene of ordered stillness, a stark contrast to the chaos of its last operational moments. Then the ROV maneuvered towards one of the massive hangar bay openings, a dark maw in the side of the hull. The team cautiously piloted the vehicle inside, its lights piercing the interior darkness for the first time since 1942. And what they found was breathtaking. Inside, an F-4F Wildcat fighter plane is parked, covered in a light dusting of silt, but otherwise perfectly preserved. It sits as if waiting for its pilot, a lonely sentinel in the dark. The aircraft's US Navy insignia is still clear on the side, a star and stripes that connect this deep-sea relic directly to the nation it served. The ROV glides closer, its lights tracing the lines of the fighter's fuselage and the intact canopy of its cockpit. You can almost imagine the pilot inside, ready for the call to scramble. A close-up on the insignia reveals the remarkable state of preservation. The paint is barely faded, the markings still crisp and legible. It is a powerful symbol of the human story behind this wreck, a story of courage and sacrifice. Nearby, another incredible sight, an International Harvester aircraft tractor used to move planes around the hangar and flight deck. Its rubber tires appear to be still inflated, defying the immense pressure and the passage of time. It's a mundane piece of equipment made extraordinary by its context, another piece of the 1942 puzzle locked in the deep. The ROV withdraws from the hangar and descends, making a respectful glide past the silent bridge and command center. This was the nerve center of the ship, where the captain and his officers commanded the vessel through the heat of battle. Now, it is a place of profound stillness. As the ROV pulls back, a wide pan begins to show the carrier's immense scale on the seabed. She is a silent giant, a man-made mountain resting in the abyss, dwarfing the small robotic explorer that has come to visit. The sheer size of the vessel, combined with its pristine condition, creates a scene of unparalleled majesty and solemnity. Every detail, from the smallest fitting to the vast flight deck, tells a story. Frozen at the moment, the Hornet slipped beneath the waves forever. This incredible state of preservation makes her status as a war grave even more poignant. She is not a ruin, she is a perfectly preserved memorial. A slow lateral pass along the hull in gentle drift. The camera rises to a pristine anti-aircraft mount. The final resting place for the 140 sailors who went down with their ship, she stands as a silent, pristine monument to their sacrifice. We glide past the bridge, controls and railings intact. A wide, solemn frame shows the upright carrier below. Lights circle the flight deck, revealing silt and fittings. A long pullback reveals the full silhouette in darkness. A final pan crosses the intact Hornet in cold blue. When the footage was released, it broke the internet. The world was not just moved by the discovery, but stunned by the ship's condition. High-clarity sonar resolves a distinct carrier silhouette. ROV beams sweep particulate water, illuminating distant forms. The silhouette rises from the seafloor as we approach. Historians and marine biologists alike are calling it the most significant and well-preserved deep-sea wreck ever found, offering an unprecedented window into the past. Deck operations continue. Tether equipment silhouettes the dark sea. A slow, majestic pan reveals the carrier on the plain. After a violent end, the USS Hornet found a strangely peaceful eternity. In the silent, freezing deep, she has been perfectly preserved, her final moments frozen in time. A stunning sacred time capsule and a timeless tribute to the courage of her crew. Please subscribe to our channel, History Documentary, hub for more insightful videos